All right, what is up, sports fans? We are back for another episode of The Fan in the End. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel. Big Ben to my right. Ben, how we feeling this morning?
Man, feeling good, man. Another day above this ground. Get to have some fun with y'all. Let's do it.
And Mr. Marvin Powell down below. Marvin, how we feeling today, my man?
Man, it's all good. USC's in the playoff hunt, and God is good, man.
Yeah, right. Big change over the last few weeks. You guys were on the outside looking in. Now you're couple teams fall off the face of the earth, and just you guys slide on in there.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Slow and steady wins the race, baby.
Yes, Lincoln Riley looking around saying they firing people.
Literally,
especially when they make as much money. Yeah, especially when they make as much money as you.
Yeah.
So I know I know your wife and kids are over the Pacific right now, headed to Hawaii. You might want to tell them to come back. Right now, yeah. You know what I mean?
We need all hands on deck for real.
Facts.
Now, obviously, I want to kick things right off with our topic of the day, and that was last Thursday. Desean Jackson, Michael Vick comes back here to Philadelphia and Lincoln Financial Field as coaches of Norfolk State and Delaware State, and they absolutely packed the house. It was a great game. It was 27-20, and the total number was 47,266 show up. And from what I heard, they did $1 million worth of concessions in that game for an HBCU. That was a great one. Here's some of the attendance of some of the bigger programs, and they absolutely blew everyone out of the water. I think it's absolutely it has to be done on a yearly basis now. It absolutely has to. Figure out whenever the bye week is for the Eagles, and so you don't have anything conflicted, and make that an annual game. I mean, I think that's big for both programs, both coaches, the kids on the field, all of it. I think that was it was a smart move by the colleges, by Jeffrey Lurie and the Eagles to allowing them to use their house for it. But I'm gonna start off with Marvin on this. What are your thoughts on this? Obviously, good game. I think Desean Jackson has now tripled their win total over the last 3 seasons, and he's got that program flying right now. What were your overall thoughts on this one, my friend?
Man, I have a lot of thoughts. First of all, kudos to Desean and for Mike. These are, 2 NFL stars, guys who were elite in their day, who, both had different types of, but definitely had some adversity. And, this is a testament to just growth, and maturity. And you see these guys in leadership positions where they're leading programs with 100 kids on the team, and doing a great job of that. I know Mike's season isn't going the way he wanted it to, but without question, those kids are benefiting greatly from having the great Michael Vick as their head coach. And, in a time when, you hear about, at least in the NFL, a lack of diversity, what I love is the opportunities that these kids, these young men are getting, young men who have leadership skills, who've been around greatness, who've been in the NFL, who've been around elite level coaching. And you're seeing them be able to take their experiences and turn it into successful coaching ventures where, not only are they impacting these guys are impacting business. $1 million concession? I thought you were going to say $250,000, $100,000, something like that. So these guys represent real star power. Desean right now is just on fire. I couldn't be more proud of Desean. I've known Desean since he was a little boy. His dad, my dad were really close friends growing up. He was always at my house back in the day, and just to see him turn into what he is now, just super proud of this guy. And at this point, I think they're now bowl eligible. But I think for them, I think that division goes to the playoffs. I think they do playoffs, not bowls. But they're successful over there, And again, Mike, he's out there coaching in his home state, and I'm certain that Norfolk State, that community is going to rally around Mike. But those numbers say it all. Those numbers say it all. I think Dion had a big role in this. Putting HBC on the map in many ways, and really just creating that awareness to people, and it's having impact. It's having a real impact, and Mike and Desean are carrying that torch. So I'm proud of these guys, man. I'm proud of their leadership. I'm proud of their growth. I'm proud of how they're impacting their communities, not just the players, but the business side of it. And I'm looking forward to seeing that game played continuously and seeing other HBCUs follow suit, because those two schools absolutely have hit a home run with their coaches. And again, I say that in spite of Mike Vick's record, which, I think this is his first year. They'll get some transfers and they'll get some bounce backs, guys that get in there and get that thing going, man. But that's a great day for HBCU, great day for college football, great day for those communities. It's only been beneficial having those guys lead.
Ben.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think you hit it on the head, though, Marv, when you said the Desean Sanders effect, man. You could see it, right? Desean Sanders goes to Jackson State, and people saying, well, what's going to be the blueprint of a former player going to a HBCU? And the number one thing is two things. What? Money, access. They're going to be able to generate more money, and because you're giving guys more access, you showing them, hey, man, to the average person who don't know about a Delaware State or Norfolk State, how can we bring awareness? Well, I got the star power at the head coach position. Then I'm bringing in other coaches. I know that Michael Vick brought his brother Marcus Vick to help him with the offense. Desean Jackson, he going to keep on bringing in guys. But what I saw in that game was, there go Cam Newton. There go Marshawn Lynch. You seeing these big-name guys, because you got to remember, some of these players remember Cam Newton from when he played. All of them remember him now. That's the guy from First Take, right? That's the guy that got 4th and 1, right? That's the guy that got funky. He's showing them, and I guarantee these guys are saying, hey, whenever. Let me tell y'all something. A guy like Cam Newton, a guy like that, they don't do stuff for free. They'll do it for Vick for free. They'll do it for Desean for free, because he go, look, I decide when, and I decide how. $1 million in concessions. There are teams around the league saying, Penn State and them saying, dude, we got to have 100,000 people to get $1 million. So 47,000 people. They said that's how much it costs for concessions. They ain't mentioned parking. They didn't mention memorabilia. They didn't. So I think for what you're seeing for HBCUs, because Vick and DJ, they doing it for two different reasons. They doing it for their teams, and they're doing it for HBCUs as a whole. The goal for HBCUs is to make it to the Celebration Bowl, played in Atlanta. And I think what I liked the most was at the end, they taking pictures with each other. Yeah, they're going to do the handshake. That's two former players. DJ got famous in Lincoln Financial. Vick got the start, in Lincoln Financial. And now we back as head coaches, because Marv knows this. HBCU, Division III, you ain't getting no head. Become a head coach at college, man, you talk about the one-of-one. It's extremely difficult to do that. But now Vick and DJ, they get a chance to say, man, we want to be a part of something greater. Like, we want to be able to say, hey, man, we know what we're doing. Give us some time, even though DJ team was already kind of ahead of schedule. Michael Vick understands what his star power means. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Donovan McNabb Jr. might play for Michael Vick. I got to research that. I know he was recruiting him at one point. I'm just proud to see these two black men doing it their way. They ain't got to sensationalize nothing. They ain't gimmicky. But culture is real. And like I said, shout out to Lincoln Financial for that's the easy. Whoever's over that decision, that's the easy decision they made. We got who? Desean Jackson, what? Delaware State. Michael Vick, what? Norfolk State. Done. And the game itself is almost like, hey man, that's just, that's the icing on the cake. We got two former stars here. I mean, Desean Jackson gonna go up in the Philadelphia Eagles Ring of Honor if he ain't already in there. I want to say Desean Jackson got more. I think he got the most 60-yard touchdowns in NFL. He was a deep threat waiting to happen. I mean, but I'm just proud of the entire process that happened. I'm proud of the guys like Marshawn Lynch, who was there to take pictures, by the way. He was there taking pictures like he had an NFL game. And if I'm at Norfolk State, if I'm at Delaware State, they don't realize, dude, there are stars on that sideline here to see y'all. Hey, yo, that's Cam Newton right there. Yeah. And these are just the ones I knew about. The game is only going to get bigger. The stars are only going to grow. And I'm just happy for both teams, happy for both coaches. And what can I say, man? Sometimes you just get it right. And for one Saturday, they got it right. It was a hard-fought game. Desean Jackson talking trash to Vick. Like, I told you we're going to beat y'all, right? Like, you want to have that that helped the camaraderie with you. But I mean, Marv, I can only imagine a guy you played with, and now y'all here. It's not the same thing, but I compare it to when Lovie Smith and Tony Dungy played in the Super Bowl. They best friends. Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith are best friends, and the first ever black head coach to win a Super Bowl, I'm going up against my best friend. I mean, I want to beat him, but you can't really lose in a situation like that. So I was very, very proud of Vick and D-Jack, because D-Jack and Vick know this. As much as we are the biggest, we're not going to have a player that's have a bigger name than us, but we don't want it to be about us. We want it to be about these players, man, and their school and HBCUs. So I was happy, man. And like I said, $1 million. I mean, they went to the Deion Sanders Good for Business symposium, and they took those down because Marvin knows this. I want the game to be good, but I want the things around the game, the entertainment and the money. Because without the money and the fans and that stuff, the specs that people look at, they're gonna say, but $1 million, man.
Yeah.
That's
I was
crazy.
surprised when I seen that they did $1 million in sales for that game. But you guys hit that one on the head. There were so many different things. The stars came out, just everything. And to answer your question, Ben, Mike gave Donnie's son a scholarship to go to Norfolk State. So I don't know I'm not sure if he played in that game or not, or what's going on with that. I haven't been that deep into it, but yeah, that was a home run both for the programs, for the kids. And again, I hope that everyone's involved is smart enough to say, well, let's make this like an annual thing. So, especially having it at Lincoln Financial Field, where, Desean and Mike played together as teammates and all that. So it was a nice homecoming. It's smart to do it here in Philadelphia. And let's hope that we see more stuff like this continue to happen moving forward, regardless of we're talking, what's going on with Desean and Mike. Is start seeing, other coaches who have some type of namesakes. Make sure you make those. Give them a platform, because that's what we're trying to do with these college programs, regardless. So I was happy with it. Ben knows I've been excited for this matchup. As soon as they announced that, I said it was going to be a home run. It doesn't take a crystal ball to figure out that was going to be a win-win for everybody. But big love to them. Hopefully, Desean can continue upon his good season. As we're talking bowl game, playoffs, etc. See how far he can take them in his first year. Mike will get the ship right. I'm not worried about Mike Vick and Norfolk State. Just said.
The goal for Norfolk State is nothing against Desean. But if you want to be Norfolk State and Delaware State in the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta, because now you got Vick back in the 8. And you talk. People say, you think Michael Vick is still beloved in Atlanta? Come up here and say, love. Nothing is take nothing away from Matty Ice. Matty Ice is Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan, but Vick.
The Michael Vick experience was a real thing. People tend to forget how important Michael was.
Look, Mike changed the game. He was the first genuine dual threat speed quarterback that made teams look at those guys differently. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just because of his impact, what he was able to do out there, man. So
and he had a cannon. He could throw it 60 yards down the field on the route, man.
Yeah, he's one of one. You know what I'm saying? He's one of one. And now, but now, you look at Lamar Jackson, and they call him the Mike Vick 2.0, which I get. You know what I'm saying? But Mike Vick started it all in the NFL.
I think Mike had a better arm. I think Lamar's faster. He's more dangerous, more elusive in the pocket.
We think that Lamar is faster because Vick.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
I would take Mike Vick in a race in a sprint.
Yeah, Vick, I would say this. I would say Lamar was probably like a 4.41. Vick was like a 4.3. Vick was stupid fast, stupid quick. It's crazy.
Lamar, I mean, he'll make you miss in a phone booth. You know what I'm saying? Mike was different. You know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, but definitely Mike. I mean, Mike was a different breed of quarterback without question. He was, he was a guy that was a true dual threat guy. And trust me, every Sunday, he was the most feared man on the field for the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Forget Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. The guy that defensive coordinators didn't want to have to face was a Mike Vick. Believe that.
Yeah, he'd have a play that should be like a 5-yard loss. Next thing you know, he's 30 yards down the field.
They feared Michael Vick. Believe they feared that dude, man.
When Vick started in Philly, at one point he was an MVP candidate. He was playing that well.
Yeah.
So man. I mean, like I said, if you are Mike Vick growing up in Virginia, you know that's like SC calling Marv saying, "Man, we want you to come get these running backs, man. Man, stop playing, man. Leave me alone, man. Stop playing. Get out my phone, man. Get out my phone."
Now on to some more good vibes. I want to switch up to baseball real quick before we get into the actual topic. Ben was touching on it last night. Bravo to Marvin's Dodgers. An absolute classic of a World Series. It couldn't have been better for baseball. As I was letting you guys know last week, it's the first time we've had a Major League Baseball season that started and ended outside of North America. So, I mean, you're talking about first, I think that was probably that's a top 5 all-time World Series right there. I don't care what you say, just how the last handful of games played out. It's 2-2 after 4. Houston wins game 5, goes up 3-2, and then the Dodgers storm right back in Toronto. Take it home another World Series, and it's just you couldn't ask for a better thing. As Ben was talking about last night, outdrew this past season NBA Finals by almost 10 million viewers, which is something substantial, regardless who's playing it. I mean, I think it was all around. It was good for baseball. You had your international players. You had your Will Smith, man. That guy just does nothing but win World Series, man. That's been nothing but involved in him. If you look at over like the past 5 years. He was with the Rangers when they won it a few years ago. Wound up going, was with the Dodgers a few years before that. Won there, comes back, winds up winning 2 more. I mean, it's something you just got to smile about, regardless if you're a Blue Jays fan. I'm sure obviously you're still trying to pull that stake out of your heart, but the Dodgers did everything to show that they deserve to be world champions this year. So. Now that I quickly touched on that, unless you have anything you want to add to that, Marvin. Listen,
I was happy to see the highest paid player in sports history, Shohei Ohtani. This guy showed up. They paid him the big bucks. He delivered. You know what I mean? And I don't want to say that's rare because Brady and these other guys deliver too, but Shohei's different. They're comparing this guy to Babe Ruth, and he's probably better than Babe Ruth. When you consider this his size, his strength, his speed, and it's different times and all that stuff, but this guy's ability to show up in big games, to be consistent, to thug it out, be a tough player as well. I mean, it's really remarkable. You know what I mean? So as a guy who is a casual baseball fan, who roots for the Yankees, Dodgers, just based upon growing up in LA and New York, it was good to see the Dodgers do their thing. It was Ali Frazier, man. It was a 15-round heavyweight fight. Game 7 was everything Game 7 was supposed to be. Everything, what I'm saying? I was in South Beach watching this thing at an Irish bar with a bunch of Canadians, right? I'm like the lone fool in there yelling USA, USA, right? I'm getting it started, you know what I mean? But it was outstanding. And listen, baseball needed that. Baseball was hurting, man. Baseball was slow to evolve. Baseball was slow to market, to get out there. And, they got that pitch clock thing down, which is tremendous, I think. They let Shohei get away with the gambling, which was smart. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm just saying it's smart. You got to think we making business decisions around here. No,
you're right. If they would have lost Shohei, they would be in big trouble. You're talking about the big contract he got. He has over $100 million in sponsorship endorsements. $100 million.
He deserves.
That's still lowballing. That's still lowballing. I have not seen every World Series, at which I get it. It's going to be hard to put any World Series over this one because most of the time, World Series will make a guy a star. He wasn't a star, did he? But no, it's stars all over the place. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero going up against Yohei, like that is, and he home with yard on him. It's like, and we talk about legacies again. That go Vladimir Guerrero. You know what I'm saying? Legacy player. I mean, Shohei, and this is no disrespect to nobody. You ain't gonna see a guy like that. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me this guy can pitch as well as he hits? Yes. Like he can do both. Yes. Like if he did one exclusively, right? If he just hit, he got more home runs than Judge. If that's all he did. But no, he's on the mound. Like, and a beast. Yamamoto, look, I will say this about the Dodgers as a person that have to deal with them every year being in the NL East. We got to deal with these Dodgers. Freddie Freeman is about as clutch of a baseball player as you're going to see. It's not going to be like, the captain, with the Yankees. It's not going to be like that. But this is the thing about the Dodgers. The Dodgers told the Blue Jays this. Nothing against y'all, man. Yeah. If nothing, Vladimir Guerrero, y'all got some stars, man. It's only certain teams that can beat us. Yeah, and y'all ain't one of them. I know y'all took us to the brink, but all the Blue Jays did is show how how great the Dodgers. Most teams are gonna get beat. You down 3-2 with that lineup over there, you're gonna lose. And the Dodgers go, y'all ready, right? Yeah. Because guess what the Dodgers said? If we gonna lose, man, it's not gonna be to the Blue Jays. We will not have that on our legacy. And it was one of the 18 innings in a freaking World Series. You went the extra innings against, man.
It's a whole nother game was played. Y'all stay up for that game? Yeah.
Because it's one of those things too. Extra innings of baseball, it's like overtime in football. It's like, dude, it's some crazy stuff about to happen, dude. Yeah. And the farther it goes, then it's, hey, dude, somebody just get on base. But the Dodgers go, nope, we just gonna do the walk off and go home. We're not doing this extra. Give me the walk off, man. So yeah, I hate the Dodgers because they that good. I can't stand the Yankees. The Yankees are the evil empire. You've won enough. Lord, I get it. But the Dodgers ain't did nothing to me, man. I mean, you talking about the person who's saying to himself is always going to be Mike Trout. What would have happened if I would have left Anaheim? If I went somewhere that I could win? Because Yohei was like, hey, man, I love you over here, Mike, but I can't keep doing this. Like, what's making a bunch of money in L.A.? All right, a bunch of people do that. I want to win. So Ohtani get to say, hey, man, outside of whoever his financial dude was, messing up his money, whatever that was, crazy stuff when he first got there. Ohtani is about as good as an athlete can be. He can do anything. I mean, he can literally do. They'll say somebody he about to go yard, boom, he's out there, or he's pitching no hitters. But yeah, great World Series. Yes, at the end, and when the Dodgers come out to not like us. I mean, the fact that they embrace Kendrick the way they do, and the Drake fans were just so mad at the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays want to
I don't care what anyone says. They playing that. They playing that.
Hey, man, shout out to the Dodgers, man. Shout out to
I wanted to get into the actual topic I wanted to bring up. As we're getting closer to it, we got about a month or so before we trim this list down. The list for 2016's contemporary baseball era ballot has come out, and few usual suspects: Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Gary Sheffield. Dale Murphy should actually absolutely be on this list. I don't know how he's not in already. Carlos Delgado, Jeff Kent, Fernando Valenzuela. Fernando Mania was a real thing. And another one that should absolutely be in the Hall of Fame also is the Evil Empire's Don Mattingly. Now, from this list, take out Roger and Barry because we already talked about it. We know what the writers are going to do when it comes to that. So let's just take them out of it because I don't foresee them allowing them to get in this year either. With the remaining 6 guys on there, who would you like to see get in? I'm going to kick this one off with Ben.
I mean, it's easy for me. It's Dale Murphy. That is ridiculous. Like, every time you see lists like this, unless there are certain things that are outdated. The most outdated thing in sports is Hall of Fame voting. It's so outdated because these sports writers, they hold the power. And if I ask you, right, if this is football, if I say, is Marvin Powell in? It shouldn't be when he play. Is he in it? Yes or no? Hall of Famers, you don't got to think about it. You say their name, boop. Let me tell you what they do now. Yeah, man, but I didn't like the way I didn't like the way he cut his steak. I didn't like the way he drove to the stadium. What did he do when he got there? Like, you know how hard it is to be remembered in anything in sports? That's what we don't get. Most of us, we don't remember each other because it's that many. I was a great player at SC. Which one? It's so many great players. But then when you say the name, they go, oh, man. Baseball is one of those things where it's so many games, so many moments. Most of these guys had really, really good careers, right? Dale Murphy, when people talk about retiring jerseys in professional sports, they retiring the jersey. It's always going to be a travesty to me the fact that Barry Bonds, the greatest baseball player ever. He is the greatest baseball player. He had 2 Hall of Fame careers, right? 2. He's not in. It makes me feel a certain type of way about baseball when you're doing that, man. You not liking me and you alleged. Look, are there baseball players in there that juiced? Yeah. So what are we talking about? I can get him nobody juiced.
I think the funniest stat I've seen someone pull out when we're talking about Barry Bonds is if you take away every single one of his home runs, he still has a better on base percentage than both Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz. Still,
it's not a baseball has a legacy problem when it comes to these players. These writers, they don't like them. They don't like these dudes. And I'm like, who made y'all the orator or whatever, the judge and the jury when it comes to is he good enough to get in and put him in? Also, Pete Rose is dead now. Now you want to make him eligible? That is BS. That is BS, man. I don't like stuff like that because it's almost like my legacy is in the hands of a person that won best writer, in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Man, get out of here, man. Was he good enough? To make it on a Hall of Fame list means you were considered one of the greatest. They just got to vote you in. So for me, it's always been Dale Murphy. The fact that Dale Murphy isn't in, another guy that ain't made the list, 2 former Braves that ain't in that bothers me, Dale Murphy and Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones, to me, might be the greatest center fielder or one of them ever. Check the numbers. Just check. I didn't say the greatest now. I didn't say the greatest, Marv. I want you to.
You say a lot. I'm just listening.
Listen. All I'm saying is I'm going to give you Andrew Jones. I'm going to just give you Andrew Jones, right? Numbers. Because people be like, man, why ain't he in? Because when you look at these numbers, as a center fielder now, career batting average of 254. He has 434 home runs. He has 1,289 runs batted in, right? He's a 5-time All-Star, 10-time Golden Glove, Silver Slugger Award, NL Hank Aaron Award, NL Home Run Leader, NL RBI Leader, Atlanta Braves. Man, you don't want to do this with Andrew Jones, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, Marv, I don't compare. Listen, because obviously I went back and looked up your dad. It is a travesty that your dad ain't in.
Thank you.
No. Sometimes it's bad. Travesty means what's going on? Like, what is going on? Ask any SC player that's in the Hall of Fame, Marcus Allen. When people, like somebody said the other day, Ben, okay, who was your greatest running back of all time, not named Barry Sanders? I said, O.J. Simpson. They said, what? I said, I went like this. Shh. O.J. Simpson. I said, I get past all the controversy. When it comes to these baseball players, they're not getting in because of pettiness. That's it. They're not getting in. I didn't really like Steve like that, man. I ain't really like Marv. I ain't like how he did his shows or whatever, man. I went to UCLA. I'm a UCLA guy. And like last night, I saw the subtle jabs you coming at Melvin. Telling stuff like this. It's called, the band is called this.
Oh, me?
Listen, I'm catching. I'm over here like Marv throwing bricks again. He's throwing band is called this. Don't call it the SC band. That's not SC band. Yeah.
What about you, Marvin? Anyone from this list that you feel?
I was living in New York in the mid '80s, early '90s, and the Mets were everything. It was Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry, and the Yankees were my team. And the Yankees sucked, but they had Don Mattingly. They had, Ricky Henderson, but Mattingly was the man. Mattingly was the king out there. This dude hit 6 grand slams in 1 year, which was, remarkable. And I had the baseball cards to show for it. Yeah, Donnie Baseball, just being what he was for a New York sports franchise, the Yankees in particular, being arguably one of their greatest players at first base, and it's such an amazing hitter. It is weird that he's not in the Hall of Fame. He's put the work in. His numbers are definitely good enough. But this was a guy who had impact, and during his day, he was elite.
He was, man.
Yeah.
And, I mean, literally the only one I don't think, just at first glance, I think, maybe Jeff Kent shouldn't get in this year, but everyone else on that list, Delgado, Fernando, Barry, Roger, Don. I mean, it's just literally just about everyone on that list. They should all get in. I've been sitting there saying it. I think there's a log jam. I think there should be one of these classes where, for, the better part of the next 10 years where you have 10 guys get in. It doesn't matter if contemporary, current era, etc. I don't care. There's too many guys that, and yes, we shouldn't diminish the Hall, but we should also not penalize guys for it because some writers in his feelings and he stuck them on an interview, etc. I think that's the silliest thing ever, and I think that's something that, as Ben said, it's in the dark ages with that. So,
but Steve, man, I'll tell you like this. Even in business, it's easier to do business with people who you actually like. Barry Bonds ain't helped himself a lot just in some of those interviews. And no, seriously, I mean, and it matters. It does matter to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, your performance and what you do on the field should matter the most. But again, part of the deal is being in front of the microphone. And you know that, you know what I'm saying? So, and how you represent yourself and how you represent your brand and how you, discuss your career and accountability and all that stuff matters to some people. Now, people are hypocritical with that. They kind of pick and choose when they want to, stick to the rules and follow the guidelines. But, Barry has never helped himself, in my opinion, in the media. That's on him. But again, I agree with Ben that, it's a travesty that this dude's not in the Hall of Fame. Because he did, again, at Pittsburgh and in San Fran, talking about two different careers, both of them Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah, I agree. I used to loathe when those Pirates came into town and Barry Bonds. I'm like, oh, this is we'd be lucky to get one out of this one.
Yeah,
just because they were loaded at that time, and then he goes out there to San Francisco and literally reinvents himself. Has a whole nother Hall of Fame career, as Ben said. They're saying you could literally cut his career in half, and both of them could still be considered to be in. But as I said, like some of the stuff that people put up, like as I was mentioning, the fact that if you take away all of his homers, that two other Hall of Famers that are in, he has a better on base percentage is mind boggling. So. Let's I think we're all going to be irritated about this until either the sports writers get it right or Major League Baseball decides to go a different way with how they're going to allow the Hall of Fame voting process to go. But let's get into some football. I'm going to start it off. Listen, I don't think anyone who's had a better bye week than what the Eagles just had. Right? Obviously, we get BG back. We traded for Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins, who paid a percentage of his salary. We're only paying him $1.5 million for the rest of the season. We go and talk to our guys over in New Jersey. Get Michael Carter II, who took a $5 million pay cut to come here to be traded for the Eagles. They go and get Jair Alexander. Then when the games come around, the Packers lose, the Lions lose, the Giants lose, the Cowboys lose, and the Commanders lose. So now that they have a 2.5 game lead up on the division. That's a pretty good bye week for somebody. For some teams just sitting there on the sideline.
Yeah, it is.
And y'all Eagles. I mean, I will say this: Howie Roseman is letting every other team know, what is your GM doing? Because we think a GM job is to put the team together in the offseason, help in the draft. No, the trade deadline in the NFL has become crazy because people want a money dump. They want to get rid of some of these expiring contracts. What the Eagles have done, the Eagles said, look, we always looking for need, but we don't want a player that's available. We want the best player available. Jalen Phillips is a really, really good pass rusher. But the Dolphins are a bad team. Bring him over here to a good team. Michael Carter, I mean, he's a good slot corner. Bring him over to a good team. Alexander, at one point, was the highest paid cornerback when he re-signed with Green Bay. Went over there to Baltimore, didn't really work out. Now he's in Philly.
I think Zaire's gonna be fine here, just for the simple fact he doesn't have to be going against the top receiver. He has Guantanamo Bay over there. Quinyon Mitchell has been playing amazing his first season and a half, right? So he's not going to have that pressure on him on doing that, and just figure out Vick's defense where he fits in, and just take care of who's in front of him. Which in most cases he's going to be going against the second or third best target on the field, as Quinyon has been taking away the top targets. So I think he's in a good situation where I think he could very well benefit from the trade, from going over there, not having to be the top corner on the team.
No. You make a great point. What the Eagles have, what Howard Roseman has done with the Eagles is he's always thinking 2 steps ahead. You mentioned y'all just got BG back. You don't know if BG's going to want to play the whole season. You asked him to come back, right? He was in the booth. So now they're telling BG, look, if you want to go back into retirement, you have that option. But we ain't gonna ask you to step out of retirement and tell you to leave. But Jalen Phillips, Nolan Smith, he's coming back for you guys. So the Eagles have learned the best culture leads to the best team. One will not come before the other. That culture is good. Howard Roseman, he's got to be pissing other freaking GMs off. Like, this dude he's getting on my nerves.
I think I love what Marcus Spears said online. They were asking him about Howard Roseman. He's like, I hate that man. He's like, I respect him. He's one of the best in the game, but I hate that man.
I mean, he does it because he makes you go, oh man, that's nice. Or oh, that's a nice, because Jalen Phillips is on a rookie deal, which means essentially he's on a 1-year deal. They don't have to re-sign him, right? After this year. And the thing, Azeez Ojulari, they brought him in the offseason, 1-year deal. Nolan Smith still on a rookie deal. Alexander, I think he's on a 2-year deal.
Like, people are upset. Like they feel like we threw away a third. You realize we traded our third, right? We still have the Jets' third. And we're still going to get a comp pick from Milton Williams, so we're still going to have 2 third-round picks. So essentially, it's a throwaway pick to bring in a guy on a rookie deal who you could or couldn't retain after the season, depending on how it all plays out. Or he could sit there and have this this light on him being here in Philadelphia to potentially field other suitors as he'll become a free agent next season. So I think it was a really smart move by Howie right there with that trade, just because it basically was a throwaway pick. You're gonna get a comp pick, and we still have the Jets pick, which at this point in time is looking like it's gonna be a fairly high one. So
it will be.
And now I'm talking about that. Let's look at this. Like where the picks are lining out right now. When we're looking at the draft order as we are sitting here right now. New Orleans is sitting in the top spot. Then you got Tennessee, aforementioned the Giants, Miami, Jets, Giants. Sorry, Cleveland, Vegas, Arizona, Cincinnati, Baltimore. The Atlanta is going to be the Rams because of
Atlanta's going to be higher than that. They're going to definitely
Washington, Houston, then Dallas, Minnesota, Carolina, and Kansas City is actually on this list because they're 4-3 right now. So, but I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like, obviously, this isn't going to stay. I think there's going to be a lot of moving around. I don't think Kansas City is going to be drafting there, to be honest with you. But let me kind of go right back into we were talking about the trades. The moving around that went on this trade deadline was I think is the second most trades since 20 2025 or 2005. They did 10 that year. There was 10 big trades. I mean, I felt like we did a little bit more than that this year, but there was a lot of guys moving around. Jacoby Myers leaving, and I'm gonna sit there and say it again. Marvin's New York Jets absolutely won the draft. I don't care, or the draft, the trade deadline. Yeah. I don't care what anyone says. You got 2 first rounds for Sauce Gardner. Not only that, if you look at how it breaks up in 2 years from now, they're freeing up somewhere in the close of almost $30 million in cap space. So by the time they go through these next few drafts, the following year after that, they're going to have flexibility to bring in a big free agent to potentially help them playoff run, Super Bowl run, etc. The New York Jets won the trade deadline. I know a lot of the Cowboys fans are talking about what they did. We'll get into the Cowboys in a few minutes, but the Jets doing what they're doing. This is the next 2 years. They have 2 first rounds this year. They have 2 second rounds this year. They have 3 first rounds the following year. They are set up to get anything they want, either via the draft or via trade capital to make something happen. I know, Marvin, you've had really high hopes about your team coming into the season, but is this kind of balancing out the disappointment, being that your team's future should be in good hands?
No, it adds to it. I mean, listen, it really adds to the disappointment. The Jets haven't won a Super Bowl since 68, man. 68, 69. We haven't been relevant. We talking, 60 years, man. It's a constant rebuild. It's a constant shuffle of new coach, new quarterback. Do I like the fact that we have draft capital? Yeah, but I hate the fact that we drafted, Williams at D-line, Gardner at corner, and these guys panned out for the most part. I mean, they definitely panned out. You know what I mean? Especially in the eyes of most. And to lose the defensive lineman to the Cowboys, I mean, listen. I mean, those guys are hard to find. To get those big boys who are really athletes, who are dogs in college, and then translate that, and they're dogs in the NFL, and they play at that level. I mean, that's not common. You know what I'm saying? So for us to be able to bring in this talent, that we had on defense, draft these guys, and just not turn it into anything, worth anything, is heartbreaking. So now we have to put our hands back in the pot, let our players go, and go back to the drawing board. We still don't know if we have the right head coach. We definitely don't have a quarterback. And it's just it's a mess. But having draft capital gives us options, and it's one of those things where now we're looking at another 3-4 year rebuild realistically. Is that what we're looking at? You know what I mean? So for Jet fans, it's definitely bittersweet. Bitter because we let go of our good players that are really great players, to be honest with you. And now, because we're going to depend on the draft and have to re-up and redo this and find a quarterback, we know we're looking at 3-4 years to be competitive, especially when you have the Howie Rosemans out there doing it 24/7. Yeah. Listen, no mercy mentality. You know what I'm saying? They got a no mercy mentality. Michael Carter took a $5 million pay cut to go to Philly. I mean, listen, that talks about culture. That talks about a guy who wants to win and be a part of something special. Get the hell out of New York. You know what I mean? So, it's bittersweet for Jet fans. We've been here before. And again, until we get that quarterback situation right, excuse me, and figure out if AG can lead from the head coach position, we're kind of like, up in the air right now.
What are your thoughts, Ben? Who do you think won the trade deadline? And should Marvin feel a little bit better about this, or?
I mean, Marvin got a lot more. I mean, Marvin makes some great points, because Marvin is talking about as my granddad would say, you take it by your shoulders and pull you back and show you the whole view. Like, let me show you the whole thing. Now, on paper, like to the person that lives in the perception world, you loving it, man. You see how the first round picks don't pan out just like a 7th round pick one. You just know who the first round pick is because it's the round that everybody watches. Yeah. Everybody watches the first round. Yeah. And everybody want to talk about Tom Brady is the greatest. Tom Brady is one player. He turned out being one of the greatest, if not the greatest. It's the word rebuild versus reload. When you're rebuilding, you don't know how long that's going to be. And sometimes you disrupt it because you'll start rebuilding within the rebuild. Because New coaches means a rebuild. Without a quarterback, you don't have a team. So I got first rounders. I got all these second rounders. These are guys that are going to be rookies. First year, second year guys that got to pan out. If I get me a guard, who we going to go up against? Quentin Williams. If I get a receiver, who we going to go up against? Sauce Gardner. The guys that we just let go. So if you are the Jets, the one thing I can say is this. Aaron Glenn came from up under that Dan Campbell coaching tree. He knows what it's like to have a team that nobody essentially gives any respect to, right? When it comes to Detroit, they're going to bring out Barry Sanders. They're going to bring out Calvin Johnson. And that's the list. Sorry, Herman Moore. That's the list. That's what they're going to bring out. When it comes to the Jets, you already know Joe Namath. He's going to come out with his fur coat on. Or that probably ain't fur. Well, it's probably fur because it's somebody from New York gave it to him. So it probably is fur. You want your team to be relevant because they're good right now. Like, I want you to be relevant because of what you're doing right now. Not, hey, man, let me show you Joe Namath. These are black and white films we talking about, right? No. What are they doing right now? You know how many people think Kansas City always been like this because of Patrick Mahomes? And they haven't. But that's all they know. So you like the pick. I like draft capital now. I like having stuff to work with. But you got to use it right. Because if you don't use it right, that's like a person who plays chess real good until they meet a master chess player and they got this dude don't know what he's doing. And I'm going to let you make something soon. Oh, don't do that, checkmate. There's no way I can lose until you make a bad decision. With the Jets, I watched them with Mark Sanchez go to back-to-back AFC championship games. Guess what? You got to win it. Rex Ryan, you know what I'm saying? You got to do it because, Steven, it's like this. Before Philly was winning, you would say, dude, yeah, I'm tired of being a bridesmaid. Dude, I want to get married, man. I want to go all the way. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that, you don't have to make these trades. So you make these trades because I don't got the players around. I don't got my quarterback yet. If the Jets are winning, they're not getting no Quentin Williams or no Sauce Gardner, regardless of how much money you owe them. Yeah. But when you ain't winning, that's too much money, man. You got to pick. I'll go with Wilson. And they only did Wilson because he's hurt right now. Now, had he been active, I don't know. Teams don't want to pick up a guy that's traded that's already hurt. That's a lot of money. So I do agree with what Marvin's saying. Looks on the surface, it looks good, but it's got to pan out. Because if it don't pan out, it's gonna be like this. What's his name that played for what's his name? You don't remember him. Because if they don't pan out, you know, Chad Pennington's name comes up. Michael Vick played for the Jets. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre played for the Jets. And if Brett Favre don't throw across his freaking body, anyway, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, and Steve, you know, we still trying to figure out if our head coach is the guy. AG was a great New York Jet, a great defensive player. Jet fans love him for what he did for our team. And he was a great defensive coordinator for the Lions. But it's different when you're in the driver's seat. And now we're looking at, I don't want to call it a complete rebuild because we have a decent young offensive lineman. We have a young running back. I think Brees will probably leave at some point, resign somewhere else. We have a good young tight end. So, I mean, we have some pieces there, but we gave up star power. And, we're wondering if we can get a young quarterback to come in here. How will he fit with our defensive-minded head coach who is not established as a head coach? So the Jets, I mean, we're just, this was supposed to be the season where, we got the athletic quarterback, the guy who's shown flashes, and, we got some players around him. So you have people like myself, Rex Ryan talking about playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly thought we were going to win 10 games this year. So to be 1-7, it tells you is where I'm at really with this whole situation. You know what I mean? So I'm off it. Okay, Steve.
I'll say this much. I think you got the Colts for sure. Getting two for Sauce, and obviously we when you look at where everyone sits right now, with the Colts being the one seed in the AFC right now. Obviously, they just got their tails kicked in by the Pittsburgh Steelers last week. So you might have some questions if Daniel Jones is the guy, but then you look what the front office they just went all in on this season. You have to have somebody like Sauce Gardner when you're playing Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, guys of that nature. I think that it's an interesting thing. I think you guys got them there, but we'll see how that all pans out there. But obviously, the Colts are trying to say we're going to go all in. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Daniel Jones contract extension before the end of the season. They may wait till the end of the season. I think that would be a mistake because we already seen what happened there in Minnesota because they had
Arnold.
They had Darnold and Daniel Jones on the roster last year. They let him walk.
Arnold was a Jet. We let him go.
Yeah.
Let me not forget to let you know that. We had him in the building at one point.
Yeah. So it's look what Sam Darnold. Look what he's doing with
all of
no one's talking about. No one's talking about the Seattle Seahawks right now.
They should. They should. I mean, Philly got the best team. Seattle. I mean, the Bucks are good. I mean, I think that NFC North is crazy. Sam Darnold proves what happens when the culture is already built. Yeah. Hey, dude. Hey, man. You want to come over here to this culture and see what we got? Jackson Smith for nigga, but he's one of the best receivers in the league right now. We got a really, really good running game. We got a defense that's scary good. Leonard Williams, what? He is a game wrecker. So I think that's what Marv is talking about. He's like, look, man,
former
it's like
Jack.
To a dude that every time you see him, he's renovating his house. Every time I see you, yeah, man, got to get the roof done. God, dog. It's like, how you going to enjoy a house? I'm always fixing on. No. I don't mind a fixer-upper, but it depends on what it is. Like, I don't want a big house for really, really cheap that by the time I do the renovations, I bought another house. I got to do everything in here. No, give me a house that need a couple of things, but it's in the gated community, though. It's still nice. It's just, hey, man, they just did this to the driveway, or you got to do some. But if you go into you get a guy. Sam Darnold was never a bad football player. He went to the wrong team. You don't believe me? He's done it now for 2 teams. Carson Wentz, I saw what Sam Darnold did for Minnesota. I can do that. You ain't Sam Darnold. I'm just telling you, if the Jets are the type of team that if they get it right, it's going to get scary. Because it's almost like these players going to say, hey, dude, we finna get right for all these years that we had nothing to do with. Because I hope for Aaron Glenn, it does work. I'm always weary of former players going to the teams that drafted them, which is rare again, which once again is rare. But I think Aaron, he wants that Dan Campbell of, I want to make a team that hasn't been a winner. I want to do that. And I might not be the guy moving forward, but I want to get it started so that when the next guy comes, because you got to be built for New York, man. You do. I mean, it ain't like coaching in these other cities to where coaches ain't out and about. If you coach for New York, the Giants or the Jets, you ain't out and about doing a bunch of community stuff. You at the facility. Because them fans, they are brutal. And you ain't going across that bridge. You only in Jersey. You're not going across that bridge in New York. Because Jersey, they kind of, all right, it's cool. As soon as you get out your car, hey, Aaron, they coming at him. Hey, bro, what's up? They not do. I went to an event that Odell Beckham Jr. was at. This is Perm Odell with the blonde hair, mohawk. And they hit him with it. They said, hey, man, that's a nice catch, right? They said, y'all still lost? Yeah, you caught it with the one hand, right? Y'all still lost. And Odell realized, boy, this ain't LSU now. This is New York. To where what sounds rude in the South is just normal in the North. That's just how they talk. I ain't being rude to you. What you? Yeah, they letting you know. Listen, if I think you ugly, I'm gonna say you ugly. If I think you crazy, I'm gonna call you. But I'm calling you to your face. And cab drivers don't respect Uber drivers. They'll say that's not a real job. You bought a car and not somebody you can go pick somebody up. That's called family members. That's what they call you. That's your family member. No, I don't know the people in my backseat. And my meter was already on when you got in the car. They ain't prepaid for $15, and I got to sit in 30 minutes of traffic. Not happening. Not a yellow cab, not a New York, and they not going 20 blocks. The only people go 20 blocks is the ones at the airport. I'm not going 20 blocks, bro. You know how much money I can make in 20 blocks? I'll put you off 6 blocks. That will get out. And if you don't like it, we can handle it. We can fight. We ain't gonna go to jail. I'm bloody and all. I'm gonna get right back in my fare. Love New York, man. New York is crazy as hell, but I love it. I love it when I was up there.
Now let's go on to these Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, making two big moves. Before we get there, this is something that Troy Aikman said prior to the trade deadline, talking about owner Jerry Jones, that if he doesn't know how to bring the Cowboys back to greatness, he should let someone with heart to do it for them, which I don't necessarily think is wrong. I think we can all of us kind of agree that if Jerry Jones wasn't involved in the dailies coming and goings of roster management and things like that nature, I think the Cowboys would have gotten themselves up out of this funk they've been in for the last 30 years. I mean, I keep jokingly saying on here, I hope Jerry Jones lives another 100 years, just because of how he goes about things. I don't think is helping them build a culture to be back to being what they were in the early 90s. So, and then even more so, like you look at some of these, like I came across the stat, I had to bring it up, that the Cowboys are 0-18 when Dak Prescott is a starter and they're down more than 10 at the half. There's only one win that they have had during that time. I'm sorry, Ben. It was back in 2020. They beat the Falcons 40-39. I don't know. I think they may have. Listen, Dak is amazing. He was a 4th round pick. What he's done with, like, he has things that make him special, but I don't know if he's the quarterback to take them into the future, being a deep playoff contender, potential Super Bowl contender. Did they make moves on their defense this year? Yes. Bringing Q in is huge. They with the trade that you had with Micah Parsons, they have a really good. I think you can have the conversation that they're just as good as my Eagles defensive tackles with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. But also, I don't think that's going. What they did yesterday solves all their defensive problems. It may help them in the run defense, but their corners and safeties are still getting beat like they stole something.
Mm-hmm.
The double move that Marvin Harrison Jr. put on Brain Monday night was probably the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a short yardage situation. He literally put him out of his shoes to the point where he flipped over himself in the end zone.
What's that? You talking about that slant? Yeah, no. See, here's the thing, Stephen, about Troy Aikman. Right? Troy Aikman likes to talk. He likes to say things like he needs to get them back to greatness. See, once again, Jerry Jones is not operating on the same level that we want him to be, because he goes, yeah, I want to win it, but you know what? But I've done it though. Like, I have won. I just haven't won. Certain teams ain't never won, and they ain't never gonna win. Jerry is saying, y'all talk about the Cowboys like we're winning. We talked about it. We talked about on every major news network, podcast, content creators. Winning in the National Football League is gonna be different for these owners. They're in it to make money, and they getting it hand over fist. Now, is the league ready for a Dallas Cowboys team that's winning? Because you think we talking about them now. You think they monopolize people now. If they start winning, now we got, because right now what Jerry Jones has said, he said, look, if we're not winning, let's at least be entertaining. Let's at least look like we done pay ESPN and CBS and NBC and all these and Fox to talk about us. No, that's what branding does. That star is serious. That's why Quentin Williams is fixing to experience a level of notoriety that he never got in he was in New York. He's finna go to Dallas. That's how y'all living down here? Yeah, man, it's crazy, right? He said if we ain't winning, we at least got to be treated like gods down here, because we ain't finna win nothing for real. But that's most teams in the league. Like, You don't think the Cleveland Browns would love to have at least brand equity if they ain't winning? You don't think the Arizona Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals is going to get more pub for beating Dallas than actually being a good squad? So
I'm glad you mentioned. There was another thing that came up. You know, the Arizona Cardinals have only won on Monday night 3 times in their existence.
Really?
And all 3 of them has been against the Dallas Cowboys.
So basically,
I'm not even playing. They are 3-10 all time on Monday Night Football, and all 3 of their wins that came against the Cowboys.
Wow. I mean Jerry Jones is he's playing chess as well, because he's saying, look, Jerry Jones to the Dallas, and it's not the same thing. Michael Jordan owned the Charlotte Hornets. They weren't going to win. Michael Jordan made a lot of money when he was on them. He made a lot of money because Mike understands this. Mike, just like Jerry Jones said, he says, look, man, when I bought the Dallas Cowboys, I never thought they would end up being, the highest rated sports franchise. I could sell these bad boys for what, 15 billion, something stupid. But the illusion of the Cowboys is what Jerry Jones, that's his selling point. Oh man, we got a big player coming. We got some big moves coming. First we get rid of Micah. Now we bring in Quentin. We still got Dak. Yeah, we got CD. Yeah, we got George Pickens. But y'all ain't winning. Don't worry about it though. What Jerry Jones has done better than anybody I've ever seen is the words "coming soon." Are we coming soon? We coming, and who goes out and say Dallas Cowboy fan every time? What is Dallas Cowboy fans number one thing? Wait till next year. Yeah, you wait till next year. Though. They say it all so much so that we know what they're gonna say, but in some kind of way we kind of believe them because that's all they got. Wait till next year. Wait till next. Yeah, wait till we get this one. Or wait till we do that. Wait till we do this. And their number one cheerleader is who? The playmaker. He's somewhere right now yelling at somebody, telling them we got Quentin with. I mean, they do, right? So that's that. But it's work. It works. Like whatever. Jerry Jones is always in. Jerry Jones is on TV the other day. Look at Stephen A. on Monday night with his pink suit on, just sitting there, because Stephen A. know. Marv just said it. When I'm in front of them cameras, man, that's a little different. That's my rep. See, when they can see me, yes, I'm a Giant fan. That's Jerry Jones. So I got Stephen. If the Eagles playing and Jerry Jones walking towards you, you gonna try to get a picture. That's Jerry Jones now. I mean, we can laugh at him, but that's so. And Jerry said, "Look, man, who makes more money than us? Nobody. What league makes more money than us?
Not in the NFL. That no one makes more money than the Dallas Cowboys.
So when Dallas is always going to be relevant because they Dallas, biggest brand in football, might be the biggest brand in sports. Take nothing away from the Lakers or the Dodgers or the Knicks,
Yankees.
If they start winning,
right there.
if they start winning, think about this. If most owners, you don't even know who they are or how they look. They can walk right by you. Jerry Jones walked by. That's Jerry Jones. That means something. Jerry said, dude, I want people to know. Jerry thinks like this. I own the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not just going to sit back and collect money. You're going to know I own them. I'm doing interviews and radios. So I ain't mad at him for the branding aspect because he says, dude, if we're not going to win on the field, we're going to win at the bank. And we winning at the bank. And public perception and branding, Marv, does it get bigger than the star? Because look, did you see Marcus Spears and Ryan Clark? You saw that stuff they was doing before? All out there on the star trying to act like, because underneath it all, would I have wanted to play for the Cowboys? I could have played for them just to know what it was like. You know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy. But I respect Jerry Jones for what he's doing. But come on, Troy Aikman, stop thinking that you, Troy Aikman, didn't you get your fame in Dallas? Stop it! Like, and how many Dallas games do Buck and freaking Troy Aikman do a year? They try to do every Dallas game. So Troy Aikman can say, well, back when I played there, oh yeah, when I was a Cowboy, we know Troy Aikman. Now you're trying to bite the hand that fed you. Talking about get somebody. You think you could do it, Troy? Is that what you're trying to say? You want to be the GM? You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it.
What about you, Marvin? A little too late for Dallas this year?
A few things, man. Listen, Dallas also benefits, and Ben jumped on it. Stephen A. Smith and these people at First Take, they lead with the Cowboys on LeBron every show. And Jerry Jones loves it. You know what I mean? He don't care if it's good press, bad press. Any publicity is good publicity. You know what I'm saying? And they getting it, man. They getting it on ESPN. So it makes sense to see Stephen A. and Jerry Jones hugged up, up in the press box looking cute together like they best buds. They in cahoots. With Troy Aikman, he absolutely was reminding us that in Dallas's greatest moments, Jimmy Johnson was calling the shots. Jimmy Johnson was picking the players. Jimmy Johnson was coaching the players. Jimmy Johnson was picking his coaches. Jimmy Johnson was running the show. You know what I mean? So when I hear that quote from Aikman just talking about, try to find somebody to get us back to greatness, who has a heart for us. I mean, he's just reminding you, Jared, you really ain't ever been that guy for us. You know what I mean? The best thing you ever did was hire Jimmy Johnson. In regards to too little, too late, I tell you what, man, the NFL season is a long season. Right now, we are at the halfway point. That playoff grid that you just showed right now that didn't have the Chiefs on it, show it to me again in 4 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
And they were on it last week, but they just lost to Buffalo, so knocked them out again.
A lot of football left, right?
Yep.
A lot of games left, and they all count.
It's crazy. It's like we got, I think, like 3 different divisions. It's like it's a dog race. So you look at the NFC West. You got 3 different teams that are 6-2. AFC, the NFC South is still tight. Between Packers, Lions, Bears. Vikings are 4-4. They could easily go on a run and find a way to do it. They still have a defense. They didn't really lose anything. Green Bay having that tie, I think, is going to help them stay in that division lead, just because of the winning percentage. I think as much as we put them down for tying the Cowboys, that might actually help them throughout the season. But I mean, I'm just saying it like this. I still think they have holes on their defense, is why I kind of say it might be too little too late, but they still have a good offense. With Pickens and Lamb is going to be a deadly duo. I still think Dak is one of the more underrated quarterbacks. I don't think he still has to show us that he could do it in the postseason, but in the regular season, he does throw the ball around there well. He is their leader. They're only going to go as far as Dak takes them, at least in my opinion. But go ahead, finish it up.
But you can't call him underrated when Jerry giving him 60 a year. You know what I'm saying? Like that there, expectations come with that, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not all on him, but underrated. I would never look at him and say he's underrated. And I'm not a Dak hater at all, but I think he's mid-average. I mean, above average.
I think he's just outside of the top 10. Like, if you ask me where I would put him, this is just outside the top 10. Go ahead, Ben. Why is that?
No, I'm saying this is once again, Dak gets fair and unfair criticism because he plays for Dallas.
Exactly.
You got to think we're gonna overinflate or underinflate what he does because he plays for Dallas. Tony Romo left football and went straight into the booth with Jim Nantz. Who we going with? Nantz. What? No internship, nothing? No. And been there
same thing with Troy. Troy did the same thing.
So we act like Dak Prescott is one of the most recognizable professional athletes in America.
Yeah.
So when people get to saying, hey man, who you gonna recognize? No, yeah, that's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, that's Aaron Rodgers. He had to win 4 MVPs in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's Josh Allen. He had to win the regular season MVP. Oh, that's Patrick Mahomes. He had to go to Super Bowl. Who's that? That's Dak Prescott. He played for Dak. Think about it. That's Dak. So most quarterbacks in the league, you don't know him. I know Sam Darnold because he got red hair. Or is that Carson Wentz? You see what I'm saying? Oh, that's
he's been kissed by fire.
Yeah, is that Carson Wentz? That's Sam Darnold? No, man, that's Andy Dalton. Oh, shoot. You see what I'm saying? I don't know which one it is. That's Dak Prescott. Whose real name? Ain't his real name Dakota? Ain't that his real name?
Yeah.
So Dak is milking this thing. Dak is saying, I'm the boy, while I got it, I'm gonna get every ounce of money. They say Dak Prescott proposed to his girl, proposed to his wife or his fiance, to his lady on the golf course. Pulled out the ring. You want to do this? Let's do it. And kept. I'm Dak. What's she gonna do? Say no? Come on, girl. Dak, keep doing your thing, man. Because once again, let Dak win a Super Bowl. You think he's a star now? Dak win a Super Bowl. We gonna get $100 million. Well, we about to see $100 million a year quarterback here real soon. When they're making 60 and 65 and 70, and nobody's gonna bat an eye. Dak has got Dak done signed 3 contracts. He signed his rookie deal. He done signed 2 big contracts with because to play for Dallas, a lot of people don't say you got to, just like I said, New York, you got to be built to be the quarterback in Dallas. Boy, everybody knows you. Everybody. You got LeBron James and them showing up. LeBron James, he's an Ohio State fan one day. Then he's a Dallas Cowboy fan next day. Then he's a Yankees fan. He's whoever give him a free flight and a hat. I'm just saying, I ain't mad at it, but shout out to Dak, man. Listen, I'll be overrated for $60 million. I'll be overrated as a kid. as a kid. But you're gonna say, hey, Dak, I'm closing my door. Boom. There go the noise. It's out there. And the check just cleared. I get $60 million to not make the playoffs. That's America, people. That's capitalism at its finest.
And I love it.
I love it too, man. Give me $60 million.
And want to bounce it back to Marvin before anything last thing on the Cowboys before we switch the next subject.
Yeah, it's definitely too late. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Philly in that division is running away, and Dallas just doesn't have it. They don't have it to be relevant to be one of the top 7 teams in that conference. So this is all about next year.
I have to say that they definitely got to keep their new dynamic duo wide receiver together. They need to find a way to because I think he's third in the league in yards for receiving yards right now.
George Pickens.
Yep.
Listen, George Pickens ain't never been. George Pickens has been accused of taking plays off and having temper tantrums. It has never been how he played football. He can play football. That boy one of the best in the league, and now he's on once again, him and CD. They neutralized both of them. God, no, they neutralized CD and George. And I don't know what was wrong with Dallas on Monday night, Arizona. I said, what is going on, man? Like Jacoby Brissett.
All I gotta say is I'm missing Josh Sweat right about now. 7 sacks already this season.
And listen, he got the best celebration in the league, man. You know what I'm saying? I like it.
Yeah, and you know this year we've been talking about the tush push a lot, right? Everyone's calling Jalen Hurts the tush push merchant, right? Well, tell me how Josh Allen's got more tush push touchdowns so far this year. We talked about it before the season started about Buffalo was one of the teams that was pushing for the potential ban of it. That they're running it more than Philadelphia is right now. But I think that the one thing is that the other side of that is I think Josh Allen's going to beat Cam Newton's quarterback rushing touchdown record, if not by the end of the season, the beginning of next. And man, another thing that Josh Allen benefits from is having Cook there. He's been having an amazing season so far. I know there were he wasn't happy with his contract coming in the season. Buffalo fans were like, oh well, we got Frank Gore Jr. We'll be all right. Now I'm like, no, you're not. You need to make sure you resign Cook, and having them two there is a good thing. But I think. I said it last week. I think if the referees don't start catching up with how to call this play properly, we might see it go away just because they don't know how to do it. I mean, it is their job, but for whatever reason, I'm not seeing the like when other teams run it. Like, you know, we've seen San Francisco do a version of the tush push. We've seen Buffalo do it. We've seen Green Bay. For whatever reason, they don't get the criticism that we see that it comes out of Philadelphia for whatever reason. But I think seeing that we're already halfway through the season and Josh Allen has more touchdowns off of that play, I think should be a sign for Philadelphia fans to think maybe the play does stick around for a little while. Maybe it's just something that, you know, getting league officials together to call it properly, regardless if lining up in the neutral zone, the offensive line jumps. If they jump, they jump. Call the penalty, push them back, and then they don't run it. Regardless if it benefits me, if it hurts me as far as I'm an Eagles fan, it doesn't matter to me. As long as it's called fairly, I don't care. But I don't think look moving forward, I don't think it's something that should be banned. But I do enjoy watching Buffalo do it, being as one of these teams that were a big proponent to try to have it banned. Marvin, let's start off with you on this one.
Listen, it's different when Buffalo and Philly do it. The thing about Philly is, again, Jalen Hurts is getting killed just on style of play. You know what I mean? You felt like every ESPN highlight and every single short yardage play, you know, was the tush push, which, you know, it's effective. It's part of the game. It's all good. But, you know, if you didn't like his style of play, then adding the tush push didn't help that. Josh is different. Josh is, you know, if Cam Newton and John Elway had a baby, they'd have Josh Allen. That's really how I look at that. You know what I'm saying? He's different, man. This is a kid who came out of Wyoming. You know, they questioned his accuracy. He was throwing like right at 50% accuracy in college, which doesn't translate well in the NFL. He got better. He wins in dramatic fashion. He plays in dramatic fashion. He's an athlete. He's tough. He's quick. He's fast. He's good in the pocket. He has a rocket connected to his shoulder for an arm, and he's really gotten a lot better. He's so dynamic. You know, coming off an MVP season and right now leading, I think, the league as the preseason favorite at this point as of today. To see him just add that to his arsenal is a good thing, and it makes sense. He's big, he's strong, much bigger than Jalen Hurts, I believe. So it makes sense and it's effective. But for the quarterback in Buffalo, it's just one more thing that he can do and do very well, as opposed to, you know, all the stuff that we've heard, that I've said, others have said about Hurts just being, I don't want to say limited, but style of play just not being super impressive, even though this guy has numbers. You know what I mean? Listen, I admit I'm one of these guys. I have to ask myself, why don't I like Jalen Hurts when the numbers are there? He's winning. He does drop back. He lays dimes and he throws on the money. What is it? All you see with him is tush push. Again, if they give him a statue, it'll be a statue of him doing a tush push. You know what I'm saying? Again, whereas I look at, you know, Josh Allen as being a much more dynamic, athletic quarterback, and probably with the better arm as well. But listen, people are gonna, if people can use that tush push effectively, they will, and they should. And if they don't figure out how to referee it, how to officiate it, then you're going to see more offensive teams, more teams out there use that and try to exploit defenses with it. Because for whatever reason, I mean, it's just an avalanche of bodies moving forward, and defenses cannot stop that. It blows my mind how they struggle to stop that. But again, I'm not in that situation. There was no tush push when I was in the league in the late 90s. That wasn't the thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think it's here. I think it's probably here to stay. And, you know, you're going to see more and more guys doing that.
So, Ben, are you surprised that Josh Allen is now you know, benefiting more from the play that his team was trying to ban during the offseason?
No, man. I mean, absolutely not. I mean, you can't beat it, join it, right? I mean, they were doing it more than Philly was doing it. They just weren't as effective. And if I'm thinking about this, Sean McDermott is trying to get that ugly look because they was crying at the competition committee. Oh, get rid of it. Then the Phillies owner comes out and makes an eloquent speech, and then it gets voted in. And McDermott was like, dude, we kind of looking bad out here, man. Like, yeah, we really are. I mean, Josh Allen MVP. I mean, Josh Allen, like, what, 250 pounds? You're a big dude. right? And then you complain about a tush push. This is supposed to be a benefit. So let's benefit from this thing. And people gonna hate on Jalen Hurts doing it because that's how it got started. Jalen loves it. Jalen, okay, they're gonna have something to say when I do it. It's just they don't dissect it the way they do it when Philly does it. When Buffalo does it, they just do it first down, move on. You know how many times we've seen a tush push in the last month and a half? We've seen more tush pushes in a month and a half than we've seen in the season. Because we go, oh, look at that old lineman. Oh, look at that guard. Oh, look at that. Like you just said, Steven, just call the penalty. But guess who else don't want to be that ref? Them refs. I don't want to be the ref calling the penalty, man. Somebody got to call it. I don't want to be that guy. But it's the league. I think Marv make a great point. We talk about Josh Allen. He's a sweetheart. Josh Allen gets more favorable, criticism or feedback. They're trying to validate everything he does, and they're trying to stay away from everything he doesn't. Which Josh Allen, as you mentioned, I mean, coming out of Wyoming, people was like, "Dude, who is this dude? Like, where is Wyoming at? Like, where is that at? You know?" And then he gets to Buffalo. You talk about pressure.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get Buffalo to a Super Bowl. And why? And look at Netflix. They come out with the Super Bowl. Did they have to do that? Yeah, because I want to give the history to what Josh Allen is trying to do with Jim Kelly and Bruce Smith and Thurman Thomas, and the list goes on. But the young man is talented. I mean, he could throw. You need him to throw 70, he can throw 70. You need to throw it through a brick wall, go through a brick wall. He about to break Cam Newton's rushing record. Might get broke this season. And I think for Jalen Hurts, it's more of a Philadelphia Eagle and Jalen Hurts. People don't like Philly. I don't know why people don't like Philly. They don't like Philly. They don't like
us. It's because of the fans. Let's be honest.
I mean,
we're loud. We're obnoxious. We're in your face. So it has to be the fans. I'm almost certain of it at this point in time. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to be. I don't want to be the media darling. I don't want to be the national spotlight hero. I don't. I like when someone says that Jalen can't do this and Jalen can't do that, because when they do that, he hears it, and the next thing you know, guess what? He does exactly what they say he can't do. So I mean, I think that's the part that plays into Jalen's game. That when they tell them he can't do something, he goes out and does it.
Yeah.
So,
but I think Jalen does this too, though. I could be wrong. Every football player got certain stuff that we all share. We all got egos. We all got pride, but we all petty as hell. We petty, boy. But we show it different. Some of us are brash. We'll say it. See, Jalen doesn't say it. But you know what Jalen Hurts going to do? He's going to say, I'm keeping an eye on this Josh Allen dude. And if Josh Allen ends up with 80 rushing touchdowns, I want 81. If he ends up with 82, I want 83. I guarantee you, Jalen is saying, I might not win many MVPs regular season, but I can win every Super Bowl MVP because I'm going to Super Bowl. See, these are things he's not going to say. I like Jalen's like that dude. Behind that $1 million smile, he coming for all of them. I want all of them. So keep on talking about Lamar and Josh and Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, everybody, Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. But I'm gonna end up having more rushing touchdowns than Cam Newton. More rushing. He want to end up having the most rushing touchdowns in NFL history. And when it's all said and done, his first interview should be a sit down with Cam. What's up, Cam? Let's talk, baby. What's up? And he's like, oh, man, when I said what I said, no. It's all good, eh? I don't feel no type way. And he going to have his hand up with all these rings on it. NFC championship rings, Super Bowl. Because Melvin, think about this. Marvin, tripping. I'm thinking about Mel and Marvin. When your daddy gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, they should let Mel interview you. That would be the greatest interview. Because you look at that Melvin like, should have picked that Steve. All you had to do is come to me, baby. You want to go to UCLA? Last night when he said that team across town, he was like, don't do this, Mel. Don't do this. Don't do this. Because if we want to do this, we can do this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are brewing. It's a brewing? Is a brewing like a goat or something? Or is it?
It's kind of like not special needs. No, but it's a bear that.
Brewing. It's a goat. Yeah, it's a bear.
Yeah. No, I don't know how to describe it. It's different. I don't know.
I'm just saying when it comes.
It's not a full-grown bear, that's for sure. It's not a full-grown bear.
Most of us are like a Jalen Hurts as you get older. Jalen is too young to be as stoic as he is. He don't really say anything. Most guys ain't like that. We have that. Who you talking to? Who you talking to, dude? Talking to me. That's how you are when you're in the league. With Jalen says, no matter what I say, y'all gonna twist it. Mm-hmm. When I don't say something, I'm not vocal enough. So Jalen says something. When he says things like, I had a purpose way before y'all had an opinion. Like, that's quotable. It's like, you quote me for that. Make sure you get the sound bite of Saquon coming up to me saying, hey, man, do you ever have fear or you ever have doubt? Yeah, man, absolutely. But I'm built for this. Because Ron Jaworski and Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick and what's Barkley? What's the Barkley that came from SC that played quarterback for y'all? Matt Barkley and all these guys. Randall Cunningham. All of them. Didn't do what I did. And I respect those dudes, right? I respect those dudes. Remember how much trash Donovan McNabb had to say about he had talked a lot of trash, right? Donovan McNabb talked trash about Jalen, how Tiki Barber talked trash about Eli. What did Eli do the very next year? Won Super Bowl. I'm just saying, Jalen goes, I keep receipts, but I'm going to wait on it all until I walk away from the game, and I'm going to say all them guys that got drafted after me and that were around me, prepare my career to them. Because I believe Jalen is chasing one dude, and his name is Patrick Mahomes. That's who he's chasing. Everybody else, they cool. They cool. And they can come to the dinner that I'm putting on, but they got to sit back there. This is the winner's table. This is the winner's table right here. So welcome to the winner's circle.
Now, let's go up to Washington for a minute. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on right there, but I want to start with something that felt kind of weird to me, right? So Frankie Louvu gets suspended, right? I don't know if you've seen this, but last night, hearing Officer Derek Brooks, that was appointed by the NFL and the NFLPA, reduced the suspension from Frankie's one-game suspension to a $100K fine, and Louvu's going to be available to play Sunday. Man, this is weird because they basically said he's getting a little free.
What did he do?
Like a defensive player should play.
What did he do? What did he do?
I think he got hit for another hip drop tackle.
So hold on. You said Derek Brooks, right?
Yeah, I know. The irony, right? The irony.
The best weak side linebacker to ever come through the NFL, Derek Brooks. But you see how different things switch up when you got a former player get to make the decisions? Because he's saying, wait.
I think the funniest part, you see who's behind all the fines now, right?
Who?
It's John Runyon.
Really? John Runyon
is the guy that basically tells out all the fines.
Whoa. Didn't John Runyon? He's a politician, ain't he?
At point, I think he was running for governor. I forget what.
Didn't win.
But no, I think it's funny that John's the one dealing out fines when he absolutely missiled. I think it was San Francisco we were playing. Jumped off of his feet and used himself as a missile. Right. This is the guy delving out fines. But Derek Brooks, absolutely, one of the best tacklers of his era.
Not just tacklers. He was bringing that wood, Steve. Hardest hit I ever took was from Derek Brooks ever. Keep going.
His suspension got overturned to a $100K fine. He should be available Sunday for the.
You talking about dad? You talking about Dad John Runyon?
Yes, Dad John Runyon, absolutely.
Yeah.
Trying to get people suspended, man. Now I will say that John Runyon versus Michael Strahan, that is beautiful TV, people. When every other play, Michael Strahan running up John Runyon saying, "The whole world go watch me." I used to love that stuff, man. They're like, the whole world, You gonna hit me
That
out
was my favorite matchup every time we play the Giants is just to watch John Runyon and Michael Strahan go at each other.
I like it. I mean, let me hold on. This tackle that they keep talking about. Look, it is not the goal of a defender is to get you on the ground. I'm not trying to do that.
Any way they can.
I'm trying. All it takes is this. Okay, listen, man. We all had some of our kids are older now. When they was little, right? You remember when they had something in their hand and they wouldn't give it to you, and they realized, oh, Daddy got to chase me. Did you care how you caught him? You jump. Get that out your hand. It's almost like we don't give these offensive players how much credit, how athletic they are. Dude, I got the open field. Me and Saquon, I don't mean no harm, brother. Whatever it takes to get you down. Look, I don't got time. If I grab you, do you know how much money Brian Dawkins would have given up in today's league? He's paying fines for just being a football player. He ain't doing. I've seen Brian Dawkins grab a dude, pick him up, and soup like a beautiful football. Then sometimes the refs are throwing a flag for what they just saw.
That's his highlight reel. Getting suplexed by.
I mean, so I appreciate Derek Brooks for saying, "Look, I'm gonna take his money from him," which I don't even want to do that. But you get suspended when it's malicious, when it's you a dirty player.
Well, I think what it was is because he's been already fined multiple times this season for the hip drop tackle, and I think they were trying to drop the hammer on him. I appreciate. Listen, I already said it's already hard enough. A lot of these guys are coming out with a full head of steam, and that the hip drop tackles the last line of defense for some of these defenders who are giving up size, speed, and height, weight to a lot of these running backs. So I mean, I'm not going to be one to bury Frankie over it. Like, obviously, making a little fun of him from, how they were trying to stop Jalen in the touch push in the championship game where they damn near gave us a touchdown because of Frankie just jumping over the top, right? But it's hard, man. So it's like I'm not going to bury Frankie for this. Hopefully he has a conversation, with these referees and his teammates, and so he doesn't end up in this position again. But he plays like his hair's on fire, and you got to admire that from his position. So I'm not going to tear him apart for it, but I just found that ironic. Both Derek Brooks and John Running are the guys that are basically dishing out fines in today's NFL. Because John probably would have been thrown out of the NFL with some of the stuff.
Oh yeah. The John Runyons and the Michael Strahans of the world. But I think what I appreciate is Derek Brooks is saying this is why having former players in positions of influence when it comes to the NFL matters, because I need to be able to see it from both standpoints, where I am and where I was. I used to be that guy, and I know he's got to get punished, but the punishment got to fit the offense. They got to fit, and like I said, to be labeled a dirty player has to be something more than just a division you in. It has to be world league wide. He ain't seen that way. It's just when that happens, that should let you know. It's like when a player gets hurt. We have to be reminded. You know what you're watching, right?
Yeah.
We get caught up in the long touchdown runs and the passes. Oh, look at that catch. All of a sudden, wham! He ain't getting up. Oh, shoot. Look at Scatterboo foot. Look at Jaden. I know we're going to look at Jaden Daniels, elbow. Look at
we'll get to that in a minute.
It's football. Football is a beautiful, chaotic, dangerous game. You think Marvin going to the game, tell that linebacker, listen, before the game, it's like, man, I hope have to stay healthy. But during this game, once we go like this, hey, bro, it ain't.
What about you, Marvin? Your thoughts on Frankie's being overturned?
I respect the fact that they're trying to, protect players. I get the big picture, and really that's more trying to protect themselves versus future lawsuits. That's really what that comes down to. I don't think they really care about the players that much. But when I listen, this helmet to helmet stuff and the hip drop, you know how hard it is to play defense and try to bring a guy down. I mean, these dudes. I mean, Jamal Lewis, and you talking about Herschel Walker, and
imagine Mike Allstott was playing right now.
That's what I'm saying. So these dudes is trying to hold on. And even in a helmet to helmet situation, they're just trying to make contact. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even trying to. It's not even an intent to have the helmets touch. They just trying to make contact and do what they can do. And I go back and forth between. I know they're trying to make it safe, and I see these brothers have lost their lives just because of CTE and stuff like that. Man, I get that, but I also say this: you know what you signed up for, and I stand on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what you signed up for. This is a combat sport. This ain't no different. It trust me. If you play in that box, especially, it's murder. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing sweet about that. You got to be really about that life, man. And unless you see it and you've done it. Like, you don't get it, how physical that is and how fast them boys is moving. You know what I'm saying? And how strong these dudes is. So, I get the idea of cleaning the game up and doing things that are going to help prevent injury and stuff like that. But a lot of things we're seeing are just part of the nature of the game. When you play at a certain speed, there's a reason you got to put all those pads on. There's a reason why you have to lift so many weights. You know what I'm saying? Like, the human body wasn't made for this. So, when you put yourself out there, I mean, it is what it is. You better know what you signed up for. I love the fact that the players are assigning the penalties because the players have perspective. They understand what's going on. They know what they're looking at. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened with this guy here. It went from a game to $100,000. And I'm certain he doesn't want to give that money up, but he wants to play in that game. I'll tell you that. So, I think it's a good thing. I like that the league has included players in their process. I know Troy Vincent, your guy, former Eagle, he's high up in the ranks right now.
He's probably right. If you ask me, if Goodell stepped down today, he'd probably be the commissioner of the NFL.
Yeah, he's up there. He's the right hand to Goodell. So I like that part of it, man. I really do. But no, it's for me in football, again, I'm a blocking fullback who learned the game from a 70s and 80s era offensive lineman. So to me, it's all about physicality. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see more physicality, not less. I don't want to see guys get punished from making, what was considered a great play 20 years ago.
That's why, I'm not mad at Frankie. I'm not. Yeah. I don't think he's a dirty player. He reminds me of that Troy Polamalu style of football. Obviously not the same player, not the same intensity, skill set, all that other stuff. But that's who Frankie reminds me of right now when if you're just taking a glance at him. So not going to destroy him, and we're gonna go even more into this Washington thing. Now everyone is throwing everything they can at Dan Campbell right now because of the Jaden Daniels injury. They're down 37-7 with 4.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. We touched on it a little bit last night. Listen, they were in the middle of a drive. Mm-hmm. They were about to punch the ball in to put their second score on the game. I'm not gonna tear Dan Quinn apart and sit there and say it's his fault. His quarterback got hurt. He should be fired. He should be this. I get it. I'm gonna pull it up for a second just so we can understand it. Like it's like that was technically if you want to say that could be said there that could be a hip drop tackle.
That's him. That's one
of those unfortunate things. He's putting his arm down so he doesn't bounce his head off, and his arm kind of was closer to him, not further out, and he dislocates his elbow. I'm not going to destroy Dan Quinn over that. Is it unfortunate? Absolutely is unfortunate, and it is one of the we seen what happened to Cam Scatterbo the week before, another gnarly injury. We seen what happened to Tyreek Hill. This, if anything, I'm going to say this season, this is one of the ones we just been injury after injury after injury that could be career threatening to some of these guys. But it's football. It happens. I'm anyone who's sitting there ripping Dan Quinn apart. I get it. It's a blowout. But you take him out, he still is like he's trying to do it without Terry McLaurin. He's still trying to make sure that they have an opportunity to be a playoff team. So I'm not going to rip Dan Quinn apart for that. I'm not.
Didn't we just see a team score 29 points in the fourth quarter 2 weeks ago?
The Broncos did it against the Giants, right? That's why I'm like, I can't rip Dan apart for this.
Exactly. Listen, so I know that at this point we're talking about the 7-minute mark. They're down, 22 points or almost 30 points. They're about to score, but at the end of the day, you're not giving up on the game with 7 minutes to go. Not with 7 minutes to go, and you're about to score. This is a starting quarterback in the NFL. You play your quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy who got all the reps. He's the guy who is your franchise guy. If you're going to lead a comeback, you would expect it would be him, your starter, who's going to do it, not your backup. Even though I think Mariota's pretty decent as a backup. There is no issue with this guy playing his guy. This is what you get paid to do, man. This is what you get paid to do. What do we like? Why is this even a conversation? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's because of Jaden Daniels coming into the season. Everyone had him basically as a top 5 quarterback. This is why we're having this conversation. We're all about protecting the stars of this league, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, it is. I get that, but they still have to play. They're still getting that paycheck. They still have to go out there and do what they do. With 7 minutes to go in the game, I'm not mad at him for keeping his quarterback in there, especially when they're in the red zone. You don't know what's going to happen. In the NFL, you can score 2 touchdowns in a matter of 15 seconds. I mean, special teams and whatever it may be. We've seen it happen before. So there was nothing wrong with what he did. The bigger thing for me, and I said last night, is I've been worried about Jaden Daniels from day one, his style of play and his body type. I know he excelled in college and he was phenomenal, in high school. But this is a grown man's league. This ain't college, dog. This ain't the SEC or the Big Ten. You know what I'm saying? At all. Trust me, I remember my first NFL mini camp. I feel like I was going so slow. I thought I was in the Matrix. No exaggeration. That's how fast it was moving to me. You know what I mean? But listen, Dan's trying to win games, dude. He's trying to win games. Jaden's trying to establish himself, in which he has, as their guy, the leader. And he got caught up in a bad play. I hate it for him. But there's no blame here. That's just the game.
Yeah. Now, before I switch this back over to Ben, I want to pull up 2 more graphics. All right. First and foremost, the irony of this play is crazy. That both him and RG3 were injured, the same stadium, same opponent, same down, and same yard line. Is eerily freaky, right? And it's almost at the point now where I said it last night. I'll say it again. And here's the graphic from the amount of players that have been hurt on this side of the field is crazy. Kyle Allen's leg, Ryan Fitzpatrick hip, Alex Smith his leg,
Gus Farrar,
Chase Young's ACL, RG3's ACL, Adrian Peterson ACL, Joe Burrow's ACL, and then now we just added Jaden Daniels' elbow.
Why you put Gus Farrar's concussion? He rammed his head into the damn wall.
Okay, but it's on that side of the field.
Yeah, do that.
Not only is Gus Farrar concussion, let's not remember when the guardrail broke. 2 seasons ago? Damn near crushed Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
That stadium is cursed. If I'm a Commanders fan, I cannot.
Gus Farrar is almost like the radical when he got the kick and he jumped up in the air towards ACL. Like, oh my god!
Hey Steve, the graphics and the numbers don't lie though. You know what I'm saying? Some of these surfaces are just not good for these elite level athletes, man. Listen. I never had a problem with turf. I personally like turf. A lot of players don't. But that graphic you just showed, that says a lot, man. I mean, I'll
pull it up one more time.
That says a lot.
That's a lot of people just on that area of the field is insane. Yeah. That's insane. Again, if I'm a Commanders fan, I cannot wait for them to tear down that stadium. They're probably all gonna be like, can we set off the C4 to blow it up?
Yeah,
because that's a lot of injuries in less than 30 years on one particular part of the field.
You can't put high valued elite level athletes on that type of turf. You know what I'm saying? That's just horrible business, and it's not good for the players. I'm surprised that the NFLPA hasn't come out and said something about that.
I mean, hell, they said something to us in Philadelphia when they were like, "This we can't do this anymore here at Veterans Stadium. Y'all got."
I heard y'all had the worst turf.
I heard y'all had terrible. It was terrible. Yeah, everyone hated it. And I think it was the Ravens game got canceled because just he's like, I'm not putting my players out on this field.
Yeah,
I'll blame him. I'll blame him. There were seams in it where your foot can get caught in a no. That was very terrible. I'm so glad that we have Lincoln Financial Field. There hasn't been a whole lot of big injuries and stuff like that. Before we switch gears here, Ben, what are your thoughts on the overall injury? People sitting there trying to call for Dan Quinn to be held accountable for this. Dan appeasing the situation and basically trying to take it on his chin, and just the unfortunate situation that's going on with Jalen Daniels.
I respect Dan Quinn and what he's doing. I mean, you trying to protect your franchise because you trying to say, yeah, I'll bite the bullet for that. But he tried to brace his fall. I wonder how many times a quarterback does that. Like they trying to break you. Anytime you've ever get tackled, I'm not trying to break. I got tackled. I'm trying to put the weight of a 250-pound to 300-pound man on my elbow. That's what happens. You want to know what happens to an elbow? That's what happens. The brute force behind it. But it's football. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We start saying, hey, Jaden Daniels should have been in the game. But what about the O-lineman? Well, what about the tight end? What about the fullback? What about the receivers, running back? They're still in the game. And yes, you got to try to protect yourself, but you got on pads. People don't even wear. If they even make, no one wears hip pads anymore. They barely wear knee pads. No one has on thigh pads. So outside of the shoulder pads, and certain guys' shoulder pads, they shoulder is outside the shoulder pad, depending on who that is. And then you talk about the helmet. Football is a dangerous game, man. We love it. Quarterbacks are susceptible to getting hurt because they have to throw passes with grown men barreling down on them. Sometimes, I mean, you let them put you on your back. Yo, trying to brace your fall with your arm, that's not gonna work. That could happen. Jalen Hurts is probably the strongest quarterback in the league. He ain't gonna do that. He's not gonna. I'm getting tackled. What am I bracing for? What is my little elbow, little arm gonna do? Them guys, notice those defenders are taught to put kind of like spear you. I'm gonna put my whole upper body trying to put you through the dirt. Football is, man. I'm trying to hurt you more than injure you. I ain't trying to make it so that you got to leave the game, but I'm trying to assert my will on you. And like I said, when it comes to the quarterbacks, they always can't hit them high. Okay, hit them above the neck. Can't hit them below the knees. That's roughing the passer. Have you seen how some of these players get tackled? Have you seen it? Sometimes you're like, God, dog, he might kill him. The player, listen, and the player just get up, toss the ball to the ref, because it's football. It's such a beautiful sport. It just reminds us all the time. Sometimes you the hammer, sometimes you the nail. And that's it. You ain't gonna get no in between, and it ain't personal. It's just if I played against my brother, I'm trying to knock his whole soul out. Bam! And I love him to death. I'm gonna point at him. I'm like, boy, I'm trying to. It's football is one of those things to where, number one, it don't start till you get hit, but it don't begin for you till you hit back. You got to hit back, but you gonna get hit. And sometimes it's being able to take a person's, like sometimes the biggest hits, and Marvin can speak to this too, the biggest hits don't look like they're that hard. You're like, God,
yep.
Yeah.
You come to the sideline, you like, hey man, stand in front of him, stand in front. Because I know you're looking at me. I think he broke my ribs. This mother. But you got to go. But you got to go back in, because if you don't, he gonna know he the reason why you. I'm going back in. Now I might not stay in, but I got to go back in. Man, football is such an ego thing, man. People, you can't play with an ego. No, you can't play without it. To get out there, to know that these players are really, really trying to do something to you, man. Like sometimes you can't see it. I know it be cinema. You watch some of these football movies and the quarterback get hurt. You see guys going like this. They're trying to get him out of there. They got the best shot. what's going to give me the best shot to win against the Eagles? Jalen Hurts on the field or off the field? Off. Okay, we got to get him out of there. And it's not bounty gate or anything like that.
I mean, that's normal defensive culture. That's normal defensive culture. Yeah. What he's saying right now.
It's one of those. It's one of these things that when you see a fullback come up in the hole and hit a linebacker, you should hear how loud that is. Boom! And that's just one play. That's for 4 yards, and they got to do it again, or a wham block. I motion from left to right, and I got to come all the way back underneath the offensive line to come hit that backside defensive end, and that defensive end is saying, boy, I'm about to put you on the highlight tape. You ain't finna do. But the problem is, you saw me go this way, and he pointed at me, and you don't realize concussion. Because I'm not a star player, that don't make the stat sheet. That don't make, so I think for Jaden Daniels, they told him, dude, you got to protect yourself. How? Don't stick your little itty bitty elbow on the ground. What is that gonna do? No itty bitty little pointy little elbow. And Jaden Daniels is not the biggest dude in the world. Like you see, he's very slim. And it's something you said last night, Marv. He's realizing now, for me to have a 10-year productive career, I'm gonna have to learn. Cam Newton used to have on the little and Cam is a big dude. He have on like the little real protector. Dude, you got the football. In order to thrive, you got to survive first. You got to learn how to survive. And I know Dan Quinn is trying to do the right thing, but
now
that's ugly. That's ugly. That was ugly.
What? One more, because I want to wrap this thing up properly, not have to run off like we did with Scott last night. Right? So, as we're on her, last 8 minutes or so. One last one. I came across this one, and I think it makes sense. Obviously, not a lot of people were happy with how Antonio Pierce was ran out there in Oakland last year, right? The Giants having all kinds of problems, right? Why would they not bring this guy in and have him run the defense right now? You got lineage there. He was there for some of their best years over the last 20, 30 years. He is definitely has a special spark and mentality to him. The Raiders teams were responding to him at the end of last season, regardless of whether you felt like he was doing a good job or not. They started to believe in him, and they were winning ball games towards the end of the last season. Do you feel? Because a lot of people feel that the whole coaching staff should be ripped out of New York as of right now. Brian Dable, the whole thing, right? Should you bring somebody like Antonio Pierce in right now, to kind of ease that process for him to either stay and be the coordinator, or flex him in and be the head coach? I'm going to start with Ben and then go to Marvin on this one.
The reason why they are afraid of Antonio Pierce is the same reason why they're afraid of like a Mark Jackson. He's not a yes man. He ain't gonna just he gonna respect the head coach. But if I'm better at what I do than what you do, I'm like, I can see why it's not working. I don't like what happened to Antonio Pierce out there with the Raiders. If you know you didn't want him, why you hire him? Gerard, even Mayo over there with the New England. If you know you don't really want me, I'm not a gimmick. Don't just. Antonio Pierce has a certain mentality, and I don't know if it bodes well with Coach DeBoer. I don't know if they polar opposites where mentality goes, but Antonio Pierce don't seem like the type of dude that's gonna mince his words. I know we was talking about the tush push earlier. A guy named Bill Bailey invented the moonwalk. Michael Jackson, he perfected it. So, and the reason why I say it is, I don't see Antonio Pierce moonwalking. Look, man, that's how I feel. How you gonna tell me what I can't do? I've been watching you, right, DeBoer? How in the world you got Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and we stink? Because in New York, I don't know if it's a New York thing or a player in New York or a coach in New York. They blunt. They brutally honest. They don't sugarcoat it. That sucked today. We suck right now. We ain't getting it done. Our best two players were rookies, and one of them hurt. What? No, our best three players, one was a second-year player, Malik Neighbors. The other two were rookies. They asking Brian Burns and them, hey, man, you think Scatterboo can come over here and do autograph signing? What the hell? You want me to break? Yeah, I want to. You play with Scatterboo, right? So I hope Antonio Pierce does get an opportunity with a place like the Giants, because I don't like the fact that he gets fired and you don't hear from him again. I don't like it. How do I go from a head coach and now I don't even got a job at all? Yeah. That's not how it's supposed to go, right? I become a head coach, I get fired, I go to a coordinator, I ball again, I get a head coaching job again. In college, I get fired as a head coach, I get to go to another school and stink. At that school. I stunk at this school, so I'm going to go over here and stink at this school. But I get a buyout for this one, and I get a new buyout from that one. I'm just saying. I thought that's how it went.
Marvin, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think he'd be a great fit with that new quarterback. I think, Antonio being a former player has tremendous credibility. And I think, Jackson Dart, these kids today, this different generation, I don't know if they want the Tom Coughlin's and they want to deal with the Bill Belichick. I think that younger, different type of energy coach is good. I personally think they should stick with Daboll and let him work with the quarterback they have. But I don't think that's going to happen. So with that said, bringing in Antonio Pierce would make a lot of sense. I think from a leadership standpoint, I think his leadership style resonates. I think we've already identified that. And then the next best thing is just, how you communicate and do they hear you? And I think I could see him in Jackson Dart doing well together. So I'd love to see that. Ben mentioned earlier how, sometimes it's not a great fit to see a guy go back to his team. This would be a different deal. Antonio's built for this. He's tough like that. He knows what this media is. He knows what they want to see, what they want to hear. And I think he's built with the stuff needed for leadership.
Wait a minute, Bob. You said something though. He a little bit too close to Aaron Glenn. He go over there with the Giants. They don't want to do it right. Aaron like, hey, whoa, yo, Tom, come in for a second. I'm telling you because a person like Antonio Pierce under the tutelage, and when I say tutelage, I mean like under the head coach over Aaron Glenn, that could be scary, man. Because you got two dudes that understand each other. A head coach and coordinators, they got to have similar mindsets. Them polar opposite dudes, that stuff don't work because we need to share it. I don't got to run your side of the ball to understand how you think. And so when you think about an Aaron Glenn, you don't see why Aaron Glenn went really well over there with Dan Campbell. They both fiery dudes. I don't know how Ben Johnson is, but yeah, I hope Antonio Pierce does get an opportunity with the Giants, though. I think just don't like, I think he got a raw deal. The audacity of the Raiders to be firing me. So you'll get rid of me for who? Man, stop it. Pete Carroll. Love Pete Carroll. Love Pete Carroll. And I'm going to say this. NFL, college, Pete Carroll is the greatest coach of all time. Period. College and pro combined, he's the greatest coach of all time because he did them both. No one else can say that.
Well, Belichick trying, then. He trying.
Yeah, I can do a Belichick doing.
Belichick got a mountain to climb right now to get that.
Listen, with his private life, he can't lose. He ain't worried about none of us. He ain't worried about us.
All right, last few minutes here. Obviously, I'm going to keep mentioning this every week. We're about 138K away from 1 million views here on the YouTube channel. As I've been letting you know, we got Ben's signed book here. We got some signed cars from Ben, some other athletes as well. Signed photos. I'm going to put together a nice package once we hit it. We'll probably hit it before the end of the month. Guys, make sure you're locked in. Anyone who happens to fall across the channel, if you're not subscribed yet, please do hit that notification bell as well. Show all the programming here. We're getting ready to launch 2 more programs. Announced it last night. I'm going to be doing one Monday evening with Justin Ferrillo. We're going to be doing a Philly sports talk show and working out the kinks for both Ben and Marvin here to do a college-based program, and we're going to be making those proper announcements over the next week or so once we get everything ironed out, logos and everything situated, show names, etc. So, guys, make sure you're locked in. Make sure you're showing all of our host, co-host love here on the South Florida Tribune Media Network. Last bit of thoughts, Ben, real quick.
But always a pleasure being on with you, Steve and Marv, man. It's always fun being able to come over here, man, just get what's on my mind, off my mind. Come for the nonsense, come from the nuance, stay because it makes sense. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Marvin, your last thoughts, my friend.
Hey, man, it's all good. I love doing this with y'all. I want to do more. We're going to do this with the college football stuff, and they can catch me, Marvin, on the mic, all the handles.
All right. Well, appreciate everyone tuning in today. Another fun one in the books. We will be back next week. Marvin will be back tonight for some more shenanigans here on the South Florida Tribune Media Network. We'll catch you guys on the rebound. Peace out.
Yep.